Hi everyone, back to the more YouTube channel. It's Chris back with my rant stroke thought of the day. And it's all about who's in the director's chair. That's right, we're talking about the one and only Dan Ashworth at Newcastle United, who's getting all the headlines at the minute in terms of moving away from the football club to Manchester United. This looks like it's going to be a deal done as early as next week by the sound of it, if you believe the journalists writing. Now, it's a big question. This is how much is this going to impact Newcastle United? Does it really matter? People are kind of throwing a few different opinions here or there. These are my opinions, really, just my opinions. You don't have to agree with them or disagree with them. These are my opinions, and make of them what you will. So, Dan Ashworth, the main thing, the top of the story is here, right? If you don't want to be at Newcastle United, whether you're a player or a manager or a sporting director, there's the door, mate. If you don't want to be here anymore, thanks for what you've done. If you think you're going to be better off elsewhere, jog on, see you later. Let's get somebody else in to replace him. The club are already looking at that, apparently. They've already been identifying replacements for Dan Ashworth. This has been going on ever since Sir Jim Ratcliffe went into Manchester United. He brought in Sir David Brailsford, isn't it, who's pals with Dan Ashworth and knows him really well. Now, Dan Ashworth is supposed to be the best sporting director in the business. No matter who talks about him, whatever club he's been at and with England, they wax lyrically about what he does behind the scenes. He has this kind of hybrid ability to understand the coach and the business side of football, to put infrastructure in place. And he's seen as a bit of a fixer, really. And one thing is for sure, when these new owners came to Newcastle, my God, it needed fixing. So we don't really know what Dan Ashworth has done behind the scenes unless you're involved the day-to-day running of the football club. I read a great piece by Chris Woff at The Athletic. I really like what Chris does. And he went into a bit of detail. You know, he said that Dan was obviously hugely influential with making the women's team professional, amalgamating that, the fixing of the training ground, the academy development, all this kind of stuff that Dan Ashworth has done behind the scenes. We saw how active he was with welcoming Anthony Gordon to the football club in the Amazon documentary. So he's obviously done a bit behind the scenes, right? Let's be honest with it. But will the football club go on if he leaves? Of course it will. You know, now Manchester United have already managed to nick somebody from Manchester City. So that doesn't mean that we're completely, untouchable in terms of people leaving the football club. So don't get worried about Newcastle suddenly slipping back and becoming a small fry club again, and all this kind of stuff. People leave and go to different jobs. It doesn't matter how big that company is or how little that company is. We all do it in life, and we all move on for better opportunities and everything else as well. If somebody offers you more money, or somebody offers you more seniority that you can get your teeth into a bit more, you leave a project that you're in and you go to another one. That's just life. And that's, I think, what Dan Ashworth is doing here, to be honest with you. I've got no axe to grind. Again, Dan Ashworth, none of us should do either. He's going to go to Manchester United. That is a huge club. Let's be honest with you, it's a dumpster fire, has been for years. They're trying to fix all of their problems. They see this guy as the best in the business, so they're probably throwing shitloads of money at him to get him to go there. Is it disappointing? Yes, it is, because it makes you wonder, what promises have been made to Dan Ashworth that maybe haven't been delivered upon, or they're not willing to pay him the money to keep him, and off he goes. And, hopefully the club won't regret that, But in terms of what he's done in the football club, yes, he's done a lot of other stuff behind the scenes. Signing players, I don't know how responsible he has been for signing players. Now, Sky Sports, typical verbal diarrhea from them on their transfer shows, which you might as well just fart on a microphone with your bum cheeks spread wide as you can, and you probably get more sense out of that. They turned around and said that crediting Dan Ashworth for signing Bruno Guimaraes. Sorry guys, false. Dan Ashworth was still at Brighton when Bruno Guimaraes signed for the football club. So do your fucking research. Off the back of my last rant about Sky, they are fucking abysmal. Shocking. So going back to the main point in hand. If Dan Ashworth is going to leave, fair enough, he'll leave, but Newcastle United will be compensated massively for his departure. Up to 7 figures. He'll be on garden leave once again, possibly for up to a year as well. So maybe any players that he's potentially been involved with in the scouting transfer committee with Steve Nixon and Eddie Howe, he won't be going straight after Manchester United. So we'll have time to get those over the line. But, some of the big young players that we signed, he wasn't even the talent spotter for. That was Steve Nixon and the scouting team. Like Cuba Minter and Alfie Harrison, who've been signed and sealed and delivered. He didn't spot them, Ashworth, but he was part of the transfer committee that brought them in. So I think the main thing that he's credited for, he's credited for kind of all the back of house, the DNA stuff. I think he transformed England really from kind of group stage also-rans to semi-finalists and finalists. And he was a huge factor in Gareth Southgate's England setup, so you've got to give the guy credit. He's obviously very good at what he does, and that's why Manchester United want to get him. But, the football club won't stand still. They're already looking at replacements, and I think they've been looking at replacements for a long time now, because ever since Sir Jim Ratcliffe went to Manchester United, this story has been there. So if they know Dan Ashworth as well as they say that they know him, I think they've already had a good win from him that he will leave Newcastle to come and join them. If the package is right, they've got the package right. They'll be waiting for the right time to put it together. They're going to put it together now. Dan Ashworth's going to leave. So Newcastle may very well go and raid Liverpool, or go raid Barcelona, or go raid another huge football club around the world to get Dan Ashworth's replacement. And so we continue the progress of this project. But let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you bothered? Are you sad about Dan Ashworth leaving? Do you wonder what he's actually done behind the scenes? Because we don't really know unless we're involved in it. You know, they've said he's introduced all these new departments that under Mike Ashley didn't exist. And to be fair, I can believe that because that regime was honking. So I'm sure that all these departments have been created which helped the club formulate a much more workable blueprint of a 2024 football club instead of a 1993 football club that Mike Ashley put in place. But that had to be done by anybody. And I'm sure Dan Ashworth did it with real aplomb, you know, and real professionalism as well, because that's what he's credited for in terms of his resume. But will Newcastle United bring somebody in just as good or even better to take us to the next level? Watch this space. I'm sure this Ashworth thing will get done and dusted fairly quickly. It'll be interesting to see how it affects the football club. Let us know in the comments below what you guys think. Smash a comment in, like the video and subscribe. All free content, nevermore. But if you want to be a member, there is an option down there too. We'll be back with some more Newcastle United crack soon enough. Have a great day wherever you are, and we'll see you later. Cheers.